So we are starting to move into the slightly autumn, going into thinking about winter phase.
Wearing the jacket.
Time to talk about hail.
Yeah, we've got the weather kids, right?
Yes, we do. We've been having all kinds of questions. We're going to have a lot more questions, too. We've been talking to all kinds of weather whiz kids because they have...
That's hard to say. I agree.
They have better questions than I have speech, evidently, here. Let's take a listen to today's question on hail.
My name is Sydney, and I go to Centennial Elementary. Here's my weather question. Why does it hail? Does it hail because it is cold up in the clouds?
And she partially answered her question. Does it hail? Why does it hail? Does it hail because it's cold up in the clouds? That's exactly right, Cindy. That's exactly the case. And you know what? We just mentioned heading towards winter, thinking hail. It can happen, but typically we get hail more in the summertime because hail comes from thunderstorms as opposed to sleet. I'll show you the difference coming up here so you can tell the difference between hail and sleet. With thunderstorms, you have air rushing into the storm, and so it's carrying those raindrops up, and you get high enough, even in the summertime when it's 100 degrees outside, it's still cold enough aloft to support ice. And so raindrops go in and they kind of travel all around getting layers of ice. If you take a hailstone and cut it in half, it looks like tree rings as it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So that strong wind holds that hail up, and finally the hail gets so big that no updraft can hold it anymore, and a big chunk of ice comes crashing on down to the ground. Pretty complex picture right here, but this is a more realistic view. An updraft coming on in. This is what we call the overshooting top, where everything balances here. It kind of pushes up, and then it comes back down. But the track of hail, you can have hail going all the way through like this and then coming back down. So you have the hail going up and down. It might go up and down a few times. It will come down. Here's what we call a rear flank downdraft coming in right here. And you can get all kinds of hail here. You get rain in one other spot. Large hail might be coming out in front of it. So it's kind of a crazy path for a hailstone. And here's that difference, Michelle, I wanted to mention. The difference between hail and sleet. Sleet typically a winter thing because we'll have snowflakes falling. They'll turn to rain as the air warms up. But then there's a layer of cold air near the ground that takes that raindrop, turns it over to ice, and then that little ice pellet hits the ground. It's different with hail, where you're dealing with updrafts coming in a thunderstorm, and you've got rain and ice, and just ice kind of gathering, or water gathering around that ice cube, basically. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, great question from Sydney from Centennial Elementary School in Nampa. All about hail.
So we're moving into sleet season.
Yes, we are.
Look at me
and
learning.
we don't get a lot of sleet in Treasure Valley, but you're all over it. You learned a lot. You get an A for
You know who despises hail, especially large hail? Car dealerships.
Yes, they do.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. We had some that were like the size of golf balls once, and the entire lot of cars was damaged.
I'll see if I can show you a picture of a car windshield damaged with hail when we get to the end of the show.
Okay.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Thanks, Scott. Well, we've seen how political pundits and